You know that feeling, right? You're staring down a huge challenge and you just wish you had more confidence. It kind of feels like this magical thing that some people are just born with. But here's the thing. What if I told you it's not magic at all? What if it's actually a skill you can learn? Well, today, we're going to break it all down. So picture this. You're facing a really tough situation, maybe a big presentation or a difficult conversation, and someone says to you, hey, just be more confident. I mean, it's usually well-meaning, right? But it's not exactly helpful, is it? Right? If only it were that simple. You hear that and you're probably thinking, oh, great, thanks. How do I do that? It's like someone telling you to just, be taller. It's so frustrating because it makes confidence sound like this simple switch you can just flip on. And we all know it doesn't work that way. Okay, so if it's not a switch, what is it? How do we actually build it? Well, the first step is to really understand what confidence is. And here's the key takeaway. It's a skill, not some kind of magic. Believe it or not, there's actually a formula for it. It's like a recipe with 3 main ingredients. First, you've got self-esteem. That's the deep down belief that you are valuable and capable. Then you mix in some optimism. That's the certainty that, hey, you can handle whatever comes your way. You put those two together and it gives you the final, crucial piece, the courage to actually take action. That's the whole shebang. So when you boil it all down, what is confidence? It's the ability to turn your thoughts into action. It's the bridge that gets you from thinking about doing something to actually doing it. It's literally the engine that turns potential into reality. Okay, but where does it come from in the first place? Well, turns out it's a mix of 3 big factors. Part of it is your genes, what you're born with. Another part is your environment, how you were treated growing up, and you can't really control those first 2, right? But that third slice of the pie, that's the one you control completely. It's your choices, the risks you decide to take, how you think about challenges, how you handle setbacks. That's where your real power lies. That's where confidence is built. All right, so since we know that our choices are the key, let's get super practical. Let's talk about 3 concrete tips, things you can actually do to start building that confidence like right now. Okay, tip number 1 is what I like to call the quick fix. This is for when you need a confidence boost like 5 minutes ago. You can try picturing your success, really see it in your mind, or listen to some music with a deep, heavy bass. Seriously, studies show it makes you feel more powerful. You can even strike a power pose for a minute or 2. These are awesome little tricks to get you through an immediate challenge. But let's be real, those quick fixes are, they're quick. They're like a Band-Aid. For real long-term change, we've got to go deeper. It's not just about what you do in the moment. It's about how you fundamentally think. And that brings us to tip number 2, which is honestly a total game changer. It's all about this one powerful belief, the belief in your ability to improve. It's about getting rid of the idea that your talents and abilities are just fixed in stone. So this really comes down to 2 different ways of looking at the world, a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you see your talents as locked in place. So when you hit a setback, your brain goes, well, I guess I'm just not good at this. And that's kind of a dead end, right? But with a growth mindset, it's totally different. You see your abilities as something you can develop. So a challenge isn't a judgment, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. A setback is just data, it's feedback. I mean, it's pretty clear which one of these is going to lead to more confidence. And look, this isn't just some feel-good motivational poster idea. This is backed by neuroscience. Your brain literally forms new connections when you practice and learn new things. It physically grows. And the research shows that people with a growth mindset aren't just happier, they're more successful. They get better grades, they do better in the face of challenges because they're not afraid of them. All right, on to our 3rd and final tip. And this one might sound a little weird at first. You ready? You need to practice failure. Yep, you heard me right. To build real, durable confidence, you have to get used to messing up. Just think about it for a second. Real confidence isn't about never failing. It's about knowing you can handle failure. Take J.K. Rowling. She was rejected by 12 different publishers before someone finally picked up Harry Potter. Can you imagine if she'd stopped after the first rejection or the 10th? We wouldn't have Hogwarts. Her confidence wasn't about being perfect. It was about persevering through all that failure. And it's not just her. Look at the Wright brothers. Their incredible success was literally built on a mountain of failed attempts at flight. Not just their own, but from everyone who came before them. Every single one of those failures was just another stepping stone, another piece of the puzzle that led to their success. So, what this all really boils down to is the power of failure. We have to completely reframe what it means to us. It's not the opposite of success. In fact, it's a fundamental, absolutely necessary part of the journey to success. Because here's what happens. People who keep trying, who aren't afraid to fail, they develop this, like a resilient superpower. When things go wrong, they don't panic. They get curious. They think, okay, that didn't work. What else can I try? They experiment with different strategies. They're not afraid to ask for advice. And above all, they just persevere. They build up that emotional muscle that lets them handle pretty much any setback. So where do you start? Here's your action plan, boiled down to 4 really simple steps. First, think of a challenge you want to take on, something real. Step 2, accept right from the beginning that you're probably going to make some mistakes, and that is totally okay. Step 3, when you do mess up, and you will, be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And finally, step 4, just go for it. And this is what it's all about, that feeling you get. The excitement of knowing that you're going to gain knowledge and experience no matter what the final result is. That is confidence. It's not about believing you'll never fail. It's about being excited to learn, trusting in your own ability to grow from every single experience, good or bad. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know all this, what's a challenge you're ready to take on? Not with that old fear of failure, but with this new excitement for what you're about to learn.